Canadian Bulldog from Wrestling Merchandise and Memories. That's merchandiseandmemories.com. And given that May is Tag Team Appreciation Month here at Wrestling Merchandise and Memories, today we're going to count down the top 50 tag teams of the 1980s. In many respects, people consider the 1980s, for our purposes 1980 through 1989, to be a golden age for tag team wrestling. In ranking the top 50 tag teams in the 1980s, we looked at the following criteria. How prominent was the team between the years of 1980 and 1989? Were they a dominant duo in their chosen promotion or promotions? Did they capture championship gold, and if so, how frequently? And was the team promoted at or near the top of the card? Just before we get started, wanted to let you know that merchandiseandmemories.com has more than 100 unique and conversation-starting top 50 lists on its website. Check it out at bit.ly/top50lists. Number 50, the Young Stallions. Paul Roma and Jim Powers individually were largely considered enhancement talent when they debuted in the early 1980s. However, the two pooled their resources and became the Young Stallions in the WWF. While they never came close to capturing championship gold, they did co-win their match at the first ever Survivor Series. Number 49, the Stud Stable, consisting of Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, began in Southeastern Championship Wrestling. The two eventually made their way to the Continental promotion, as well as other regional territories, capturing the CWA Tag Team Championship. Number 48, the Dynamic Dudes. In the late 1980s, Johnny Ace, also known as John Laurinaitis, as well as Shane Douglas, formed a tag team, a pair of young skateboarding grapplers in the NWA. The two were briefly managed by Jim Cornette, only to have Cornette turn on them, siding with his team, the Midnight Express. Number 47, the Z-Man and Brian Pillman were much like the Dynamic Dudes in that they were formed in the late 1980s in the NWA as a pair of high-flying young wrestlers. And in 1990, which is a year too late for inclusion on this list, Pillman and Z-Man held the WCW United States Tag Team Championship for 3 months. Number 46, WWE Hall of Famers, the Magnificent Muraco and Cowboy Bob Orton, formed an alliance in 1986, initially to feud with a freshly turned Rowdy Roddy Piper. Eventually, Muraco and Orton began teaming up frequently, managed by Mr. Fuji, and the two even took on the Can-Am Connection at WrestleMania 3. Number 45, although the collegiate wrestling-themed Varsity Club had several members, including Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotunda, Steve Williams, Rick Steiner, and Dan Spivey, it was the team of Williams and Rotunda that managed to upset the Road Warriors to capture the NWA World Tag Team Championship in 1989. Number 44, the Skyscrapers were comprised of Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious as a badass team of big men that terrorized the NWA in the late 1980s. Managed by Teddy Long, the Skyscrapers wreaked havoc until Sid Vicious was injured and replaced by Mean Mark, also known as The Undertaker. Number 43, the Islanders. In 1986, the WWF teamed up King Tonga, who was renamed Haku, with the Tonga Kid, who was renamed Tama. At first, Haku and Tama were babyfaces, but eventually they turned heel and were managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Number 42, the Destruction Crew. Let me handle this one, Mike. In 1989, the AWA paired Mean Mike Enos and Wayne the Train Bloom together, a top pairing of heels that were managed by Johnny Valiant. The two won the AWA Tag Team Championships in October 1989. Number 41, the Nasty Boys. While this team had a great career in the WWF, WCW, and elsewhere, they weren't quite as nasty as they wanted to be during the 1980s. After a brief run in the AWA, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs worked in Memphis and Florida, building up to a huge run later in their career. Number 40, King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd were the star pupils of Bobby the Brain Heenan's Heenan family, making life miserable for the likes of Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and others. Most notably, they opposed Hogan and Paul Orndorff the night that Mr. Wonderful turned heel. Number 39, Buddy Rose and Doug Summers teamed in the mid-1980s, defeating the team of Scott Hall and Curt Hennig to win the AWA Tag Team Championship. Managed by Sherry Martel, Rose and Summers feuded with the Midnight Rockers. Number 38, WWE Hall of Famers the Bushwhackers actually began teaming in the 1960s, but by the 1980s they were known as the Sheepherders, Butch Miller and Luke Williams, where they competed in Puerto Rico, Pacific Northwest, and the NWA before adopting their signature personas in the WWF. Number 37, the Powers of Pain began teaming in 1987 in the NWA as knockoffs of the Road Warriors. Eventually, they came into their own, jumping to the WWF by 1988 and feuding with the likes of Demolition, the Rockers, and the Bushwhackers. Number 36, the Fabulous Ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kieran, began teaming up in 1982. Decked out in top hats and sequin tuxedos, the two made an impact in Florida, Memphis, and other regional promotions throughout the decade. The Fabs feuded with the Sheepherders as well as the Midnight Express. Number 35, the Killer Bees, B. Brian Blair and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, began teaming in 1984 and quickly became top contenders to the WWF World Tag Team Championship. They were feuding with the likes of the Hart Foundation and the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Number 34, the Soul Patrol, consisted of WWE Hall of Famers Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas, who began teaming in 1983 and quickly defeated the Wild Samoans to become the first pair of Black World Tag Team Champions in WWE history. Number 33, WWE Hall of Famers Terry and Dory Funk Jr. began teaming in the 1960s, but had a renaissance of sorts in the 1980s. In Japan, the Funk Brothers battled Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen in what was deemed a 5-star match, and over in the WWF, the brothers pinned Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana at WrestleMania 2. Number 32, Bad Company, the team of Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond, began teaming in 1986 in the CWA, where they captured the group's tag team titles. They then traveled to the AWA, where under the tutelage of Diamond Dallas Page, they won that promotion's tag team titles, and later went on to the WWF as the New Orient Express. Number 31, the Fabulous Rougeau brothers of Jacques and Raymond Rougeau began teaming in the 1970s, but by 1986 they made their way to the WWF, initially as babyfaces and eventually as American flag-waving heels managed by Jimmy Hart. Number 30, Adrian Adonis and WWE Hall of Famer Jesse Ventura began teaming in the AWA in 1979 and were quickly dubbed the East-West Connection as a nod to their kayfabe hometowns. Adonis and Ventura captured the AWA World Tag Team Championship in 1980. Number 29, the North-South Connection. Shortly after Jesse Ventura retired from full-time wrestling, Dick Murdoch stepped in, and the team went from East-West to the North-South Connection. The team won the WWF Tag Team Championship in 1984 and lost the titles about 1 year later. Number 28, the Superpowers. When Magnum TA's career ended prematurely in 1986, WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes was left without a partner to pursue the Four Horsemen in the NWA. Enter Nikita Koloff, once Magnum's sworn enemy, who formed the Superpowers with Rhodes and went on to win the 1987 Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup. Number 27, the US Express. WWE Hall of Famers Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo, real-life brothers-in-law, began teaming in the WWF in 1984. Managed by Captain Lou Albano, they won the WWF World Tag Team Championship twice and competed at the first WrestleMania. Number 26, Strikeforce was formed in 1987 when Rick Martel sought to replace Tom Zink in the Can-Am Connection. Martel teamed with WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and the two defeated the Hart Foundation to capture the WWF World Tag Team Championship. Number 25, WWE Hall of Famers Jack and Jerry Briscoe began teaming in 1969 in Florida and other territories. In 1983, the original Briscoe brothers turned heel and feuded with Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood in the NWA, capturing that group's World Tag Team Championship. Number 24, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Fuji began teaming with Mr. Saito in 1981. Managed by Captain Lou Albano, the team defeated Rick Martel and Tony Garea, and then the team of Jay and Jules Strongbow to hold the WWF World Tag Team Championship twice. Number 23, Ivan Koloff began teaming with his nephew, Nikita Koloff, in 1984. At the height of America's Cold War paranoia, the team dominated the NWA and then added Crusher Khrushchev, Barry Darsow, to the group. The Koloffs held the NWA Tag Team titles. Number 22, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Kayfabe brothers Lars, Gene, and Ole Anderson began teaming in the 1970s. Once in Jim Crockett Promotions, Gene and Ole won the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Another Anderson, Arn Anderson, was added in as Ole's cousin. Number 21, WWE Hall of Famers Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, and Curt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect, began teaming in 1984 in the AWA. After more than a year, the two fan favorites defeated Jimmy Garvin and Steve Regal to win the AWA World Tag Team Championship. Number 20, WWE Hall of Famers the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov began teaming in 1985 as top foreign heels and won the WWF World Tag Team Championship at the first WrestleMania. Together they battled the likes of the US Express, the Killer Bees, and the British Bulldogs. Number 19, WWE Hall of Famer Stan Hansen began teaming with the legendary Bruiser Brody in 1975, becoming one of the top Gaijin teams in Japan. The veteran heels participated in All Japan's Real World Tag League from 1982 to 1984, winning the tournament finals in 1983. Number 18, WWE Hall of Famers Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake began teaming in 1985. Managed by Johnny Valiant, the Dream Team won the WWF Tag Team titles in 1985 and feuded with the British Bulldogs as well as the fabulous Rougeau brothers. Number 17, Sting and Lex Luger began teaming in 1988 as unlikely allies in a battle against the Four Horsemen. They quickly won that year's Crockett Cup tournament and became WCW's answer to the Mega Powers. Number 16, WWE Hall of Famers Afa and Sika began teaming in the 1970s in territories such as Mid-South and the NWA and the WWF. Managed by Captain Lou Albano, the Wild Samoans won the WWF World Tag Team Championship 3 times and in a way were the original members of the Bloodline. Number 15, Rick and Scott Steiner began teaming in 1989, or else they may have been higher on this list overall. The brothers teamed in the NWA that year, feuding with the Varsity Club and Doom. Later on, they would go on to win multiple tag team championships in different organizations. Number 14, the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, began teaming up in 1984 and quickly became favorites in several promotions. They feuded with the Sheepherders and the Midnight Express, capturing championship gold in the NWA, AWA, and World Class. Number 13, the High Flyers were Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell, former college football teammates who began teaming in the late 1970s. They captured the AWA World Tag Team Championship twice, holding the belts for well over 3 years. Number 12, WWE Hall of Famer Ricky Steamboat formed a team with Jay Youngblood in the early 1980s. Together, the two captured the NWA World Tag Team Championship an incredible 5 times and had memorable rivalries against the likes of Sergeant Slaughter and Don Kernodle and Jack and Jerry Briscoe. Number 11, WWE Hall of Famers the Von Erichs were the top group of heroes in Texas for most of the 1980s, whether they competed in singles or tag team matches. Combinations of Fritz, Kevin, Mike, David, and Kerry Von Erich were often holding the world-class tag team and 6-man tag team titles during the decade. Number 10, WWE Hall of Famers the Fabulous Freebirds began teaming in 1979 and included various combinations of Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, Buddy Roberts, and Jimmy Garvin. Famously, they feuded with the Von Erichs in World Class and teamed up through the AWA, NWA, UWF, and elsewhere. Number 9, WWE Hall of Famers Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard began teaming in 1986. As half of the Four Horsemen, they captured the NWA World Tag Team Championship. After that, they jumped to the WWF, where managed by Bobby Heenan, they became the Brainbusters and struck gold again. Number 8, the Rockers were WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, who first began teaming in 1985, where they dominated in the AWA as the Midnight Rockers. In 1988, they jumped to the WWF and feuded with the likes of the Brainbusters, the Rougeau Brothers, and other top teams. Number 7, the British Bulldogs, no relation to yours truly, were the Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith, real-life cousins who began teaming in 1983. After dominating in Stampede Wrestling, they moved to the WWF, where they captured the World Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania 2 and also had successful tours of All Japan Pro Wrestling. Number 6, WWE Hall of Famers Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage began teaming as the Mega Powers in 1987, managed by Miss Elizabeth and designed to fend off some of the top heels. They dominated the main event scene for the next year, leading to the inevitable WrestleMania 5 match where the Mega Powers exploded. Number 5, the Midnight Express, managed by James E. Cornette, were formed in 1980 and over the decades have included Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, Randy Rose, and Norvell Austin. Among their accolades were the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Number 4, WWE Hall of Famers Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart began teaming in 1985 as the Hart Foundation. Managed by Jimmy Hart, the brothers-in-law had classic rivalries with the likes of the British Bulldogs, the Killer Bees, and Demolition, winning the WWF World Tag Team titles twice. Number 3, Demolition was formed in 1987 as the WWF's answer to the Road Warriors. Managed by Johnny Valiant and then later Mr. Fuji, Axe and Smash, and later Crush, captured the WWF World Tag Team Championship 3 times with a record-setting title reign that was only eclipsed in 2016. Number 2, the Rock and Roll Express WWE Hall of Famers Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson began teaming in 1983. Their look has been emulated by high-flying babyface tag teams over the years, including many on this list. The Rock and Roll Express won the NWA World Tag Team titles 4 times. And the number 1 tag team of the 1980s, the Road Warriors. WWE Hall of Famers Hawk and Animal began teaming in 1983. Managed by Paul Ellering, they brought about a persona that had never been seen before in professional wrestling. Huge, muscle-bound brawlers that ran roughshod over even the toughest competition. The Road Warriors' accolades include tag team titles in the WWF, NWA, AWA, Japan, and elsewhere. So, which ones did we misplace? Which ones did we miss? Let us know in the comments section below, and be sure to check out merchandiseandmemories.com all throughout May for Tag Team Appreciation Month, as well as tons of unique top 50 lists.